For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
In due course, we will inform you about press conference where we will answer the questions that you have.
But you know the public is concerned about
Of course, I know the public is concerned. We are concerned as well.
And what's the mood of the police force?
The police officers are functioning as expected. They are working hard and they continue to keep St. Lucia safe. They are concerned about the safety and security of the people of this nation, and we are all working together to keep our heads up in spite of the challenges we face with crime in this country.
How soon can we have the press conference? How soon?
I will let you know.
And so we found out from yesterday that the outgoing police commissioner, Cressida Descat Peleus, would have convened a press conference today. So it came off 3 days before she demits office. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the most monitored talk show in the world. And that is NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page, as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. I'll be hearing from you later at 452-2979. That's 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And from time to time, I will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. And if you have not already heard, Kimani is no longer with the broadcast, no longer with this radio station. She is now somewhere beyond the shores of St. Lucia and pursuing higher learning. So the police commissioner delivered on her promise. Could not attend the press conference, but I'm just privy to her opening statement, and I'll play that statement in just a bit. And she's addressing the alleged extrajudicial killings, and also she also has addressed the murder of Kimberly De Leon, as well as that shooting incident which occurred on the evening of the 22nd of May 2019, and that is the killing of then 17-year-old Arnold Joseph. and we will hear from her in just a moment. We'll also hear from her regarding the allegations against a senior police officer, allegations of sexual harassment. So without any delay, let us hear from the opening statement of the island's police commissioner, Cressida Descartes-Pellius.
The issue of the police-involved shootings, which occurred during Operation Restore Confidence. Let me present the facts. Since assuming office, I've had no dialogue. I've had dialogue with the officers, the Police Welfare Association, the Director of Public Prosecution, and the investigators who were reassigned these said matters prior to my tenure. I have not at any time had oversight of the files to make a determination as to the way forward. I have engaged the Director of Public Prosecution following his press conference, and I'm yet to receive written communication in relation to his recommendations. It would not be responsible for me to act on statements made during the press conference, or radio, or social media, or informal discussions. It is crucial that any actions I take are based on formal written reviews. In the past, I, like Commissioner Daisy, have received official communication from the Director of Public Prosecution on matters where police fatally wounded individuals during the Operation Restore Confidence, indicating officers who were fled during that process. As a consequence, these officers received letters from the Commissioner's office to that effect. And I would expect the same direction if criminal charges have been recommended against anyone by the Director of Public Prosecution. There are other police shootings, including that of Arnold Joseph, which require further external consultation and evidence review. These reviews are currently underway. Other matters of public interest, such as the Kimberly Vileo homicide, are still at the position of awaiting on our external partners to provide expertise and assistance not currently available in this situation. It is lamentable, as we can all agree, that extensive time frame caused a lot of pain and hurt to families and loved ones. I can assure you that my officers are doing all in their power to expedite the results being made available in order to advance their investigations. Another matter before me of great and grave concern is that of sexual assault and harassment perpetrated by members of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. I've had the distinct honor of being our country's first female leader on the principal law enforcement agency, the first female officer as a Commissioner of Police, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. And I'm deeply saddened that my tenure has been marred by these serious allegations. However, as promised, and I've said before, I remain resolute in bringing redress to impacted individuals in these matters. Thus far, I have, as I've expressed to you before, completed a sexual harassment policy to govern the conduct of all officers and establish proper official protocols for dealing with any such matter in the organization. This policy document is currently being reviewed by stakeholders, including the Police Welfare Association, or the members of my executive, the Ministry of Home Affairs, and other individuals. This document is also being reviewed to be a document that will be used for all the protective services. I've also initiated a formal investigation into reports made by individuals against senior officers. And at this time, there is nothing more I'm able to say with regards to these matters, other than the necessary support is being afforded to all persons and that the investigations are progressing.
You just heard there from the island's Police Commissioner, Cressida Descartes-Pellius, speaking earlier today during a much-anticipated press conference. Unfortunately, I'm not privy to the question and answer part of that particular exercise. I'd like to apologize profusely for the poor technical quality of that statement. But in a nutshell, the island's Police Commissioner did not make any kind of revelation. She basically said, as far as the Kimberly De Leon matter is concerned, that it is still under investigation. As far as the shooting of Arnold Joseph, it is just about the same. And in most of those cases, she is awaiting the assistance of outside agencies for there to be any kind of conclusion. Any kind of conclusion can be brought to those respective matters. And the same obtains for the investigations into the alleged use of excessive force or the alleged extrajudicial killings during Operation Restore Confidence of 2010 and 2011. Just to quote her again, she said, quote, "I have not at any time had oversight of the files to make a determination as to the way forward. I've engaged the DPP following his press conference, and I'm yet to receive written communication in relation to recommendations. It would not be responsible for me to act on statements made during the press conference. It's crucial that any action I take are based on formal written evidence." So basically, the police commissioner is saying that with regard to a lot of the matters that we heard reference was made to on June the 19th of this year by the Director of Public Prosecutions, she has not been able to act. And I just wonder, like you, whether delaying tactics are being used by the authorities in St. Lucia, by law enforcement, as far as those matters are concerned. Because you're talking about, in the case of Operation Restore Confidence, 2010-2011, you're talking about at least 13 years would have elapsed. And yet still, there is yet to be an outcome. The killing by the police of Reginald Jean, better known as Beige, 28th of February 2011. You're talking about 13 years. This matter yet to be brought to some kind of finality as far as the investigation, as far maybe the arrest of police officers, etc. In the case of, there's one, Kevin Ferdinand, Rosarius Marquis, Jean-Baptiste McFarlane, Mitchell Cadet, Alan Louisi, shot and killed by the police on May the 5th of 2011. According to the DPP, in that press conference of June the 19th this year, further lines of inquiry have been explored and therefore warrant the arrest and interviewing of officers involved on suspicion of reckless manslaughter. And as far as ORC is concerned, the police commissioner is saying that she has not had at any time oversight of the files to make a determination as to the way forward. So nothing has come out of this particular investigation. Subsequent to ORC, you have had a number of police commissioners and they have not seen it fitting, or they have not been able to address those particular cases. In some instances, files have not been presented. Files have not been submitted for exhibits. Sorry, have not been submitted for testing, and that is in the case of the Shakadan Daniel matter. Remember, he was found dead in a Mico police station, that is in 2013. And as far as allegations of sexual harassment, sexual assault, etc., by police, a police officer, allegations of that, she is saying that that matter is still very much under investigation. The only thing she said that that's new is that they have completed a sexual harassment policy. So nothing new to report by the island's outgoing police commissioner, and that is 3 days before she demits office. Your reaction right now at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. And of course, your comments in the chat room. I'll be going through them in just a moment. But at the height of the allegations of charges of sexual harassment or claims of sexual harassment against the police, the island's police commissioner, the island's prime minister, Mr. Philip J. Pierre, did speak to the media. We'll be hearing from him in just a moment. But in the meantime, let's see if we can get a call via WhatsApp as we say hello and good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Good day, sir.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
As a citizen of this country, as an employer of government, I would like to ask the current government, the current administration, to please, we need them to provide us with an audit, a CIP audit, stating how much money have they collected, how many passports that was sold, and how many, who are the recipients of those passports thing.
But we've been hearing from the Prime Minister, we've been hearing from the Prime Minister and the Investment Minister as well, that an audit is underway. So I imagine that after this is done, they will be in a position to answer those questions, caller.
Yes, Tim. So what I am saying, I want to really drive it home. So what I am saying is that until that is done, no CIP funds need to be going all over the place, Tim.
Distributed.
How can you use CIP funds to do so many things now, all of a sudden, donations everywhere, yet still you have not completed an audit? How can that be in line with protocol, in line with, any illegality that there should be in this thing?
Or in line with best practices?
Exactly. Yeah. It cannot be, Tim. No matter what aspect of life or business it is, you cannot extract funds from anything that you do in any kind of business until you have a balance sheet. You have something to show that, look, this is what I've made, this is what I've sold, here is the profit, and so on and so forth, Tim. That is what I am saying.
But wouldn't the auditors have receipts? Wouldn't the auditors provided with receipts given an account of the amount of money that would have been donated and the recipients of those checks?
Well, Tim, what I am saying, I understand that. And I doubt that will ever happen underneath this current administration. But what I am saying is that you cannot go about dishing out monies and over 2 years you have not provided an audit. As far as I'm concerned, I could speculate and say, after I received that audit, I could speculate and say that they created that thing on their own. Because if you're already going that way on your own, without giving the public, this is the passport of the country, Tim, without giving us any kind of paper trail as to what has happened, and you're already using funds in everything, you cannot do that. It should never be, and we should never accept it as a state. I want the passport money, the CIP monies, to be used for the country's needs. I understand that. I want it, Tim. But you cannot just go about flashing monies all over the place as they are doing now. All of a sudden, CIP is making money. 2 years ago, CIP wasn't making money. All of a sudden, CIP is making money. They're giving money all over the place. Yet still a bread is still 50 cents. Why couldn't you use the CIP money to cushion that 2.5 that you put on us? Okay, you cost the increase that you gave the bakers. Why couldn't you use the CIP money to cushion that? The increase that you gave the bus drivers. Why couldn't you use the CIP money? You understand? You are now having CIP monies to do everything, but yet still, 2 years ago, you the increasing taxes on everything, Tim. You understand? Flow, electricity, Wasco, everything go up. You understand? Everything, grocery, everything go up. Why you couldn't you use the CIP money to cushion that inflation for us? Now you spreading it all over the place, giving free money all over the place without an audit. Tim, before I go, I'd like to ask of the government, please provide us with an audit before you continue giving CIP funds with no audit, with nothing to say that we have made X amount, we have sold X amount. Give us that audit first, and then you can start doing what you have to do. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. In the chat room, somebody says, please visit the CIP website for all the information you need. But rest assured, on the website will not be included an audit of accounts of the CIP over the last 2 years. And we've heard from the authorities, including the Prime Minister and the Investment Minister, that an audit will be carried out very soon. What is very interesting is that we recently heard from the Prime Minister the reason why an audit has not been conducted. And he was not even specific. He said that those things do happen when you talk about auditors and the inability to carry out such functions. But I certainly would believe that there's some specifics that the Prime Minister can provide, the Investment Minister can provide as to why we have not had audits into the CIP over the last 2 years. And those are things that definitely should not be delayed, because you're talking about the finances of the citizenry. And at every standpoint, at every opportunity you get, you should be in a position to account for the people's finances. And also what is unprecedented, and the caller did make that point, why all of a sudden you have checks after checks being presented to various individuals and representatives of organizations in St. Lucia that would amount to donations to those various entities. Checks amounting to $20,000, and then you have another check for $240,000. It is unprecedented. Now, I'm not saying that the CIP funds have not been utilized for matters involving whether it's private sector interests or public sector entities, or for the benefit of the wider St. Lucian society. But you have never had those presentations being made out there in the media. And that is coinciding with the controversy or controversies surrounding our CIP program in St. Lucia. We have another call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
You could see I'm just saying, you could see the life you living in St. Lucia, right? Like, I mean, you got these people in authority, man. And, you know, you got the Prime Minister, you got national security. And, I mean, we got the people, day-to-day people living. But, you know, these people are the head. And they have no outcome of nothing. It's all like, I don't know, I can't, imagine living under this kind of umbrella, man. These people like national security, your ports, everything is vulnerable. They have no clue. They have nothing. They don't know. They didn't listen. You know what I mean? You got national security minister. Okay, she come out and saying what? Nothing. Nothing. I mean, if you might have kids growing up, what are you gonna tell him? These are the people that live in that country. Can't tell you nothing. It's sad, man. It's sad. I mean, she could give a press statement there, but I get nothing out of that. And that's been going on for years. Not one simple answer. Not simple answer. And then you got the prime minister ask question. You don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's good. It's good that St. Lucia could see for themselves. But I hope, like they react for the betterment of themselves. But so far, I mean, them guys gonna be sitting down there with this administration for a while. So I hope all is gonna get better. But so far, man, it's like a ship in the ocean and they don't even know where it's headed. I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that, man.
Appreciate it, sir.
Thanks for the time, though.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. 452-2979. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages. 716-2026, and that is 716-2026. Regarding the island's police commissioner, based on what I was privy to, based on what I heard and what you heard earlier on, she basically said that over the last few years, the several matters that have been under investigation, those well-publicized killings, I mean, nothing has been done to basically resolve them or to solve those cases. Not resolve, but to solve the cases. And so the mother of Kimberly DeLeon, Mary Williams, must continue to ask questions of the DPP. And then very soon we'll have a new police commissioner dealing with the same old problems. And you can really already guess what the outcome will be the next time that individual meets with the press or speaks directly to the citizens of St. Lucia pertaining to Kimberly DeLeon, her murder, Reginald Jean, better known as Beige, and a number of other cases that are before the police, including Arnold Joseph. And I remember the DPP saying at his press conference with regard to the killing of Arnold Joseph, that was submitted to the Commissioner of Police. This matter has not been formally sent to the office of the DPP for advice. And therefore, what do? You just sit down and wait while the authorities do nothing to solve those cases? We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, team.
Yes, sir.
Yes, in my humble opinion, the commissioner's response to having a scheduled news conference is nothing less than the way she treated the crime and its totality within the past 1-2 years that she has been in office. And we as St. Lucians should expect more and demand more of someone in such a high authority. And this is just my opinion on this. Thank you, Tim. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, and have yourself a pleasant afternoon, sir. Because to me, and from my vantage point, I must say that, because the police commissioner has been described as the hardest working police commissioner ever. You coming into that particular position, you are on a tour of duty. A lot is expected of you, and you ought to have a schedule. You ought to prioritize. These are the cases. Those cases have been before police commissioner after police commissioner. And I'm coming in. I want to solve those matters. I do not want to demit office and have to hand them over to another police commissioner. And if the police commissioner is saying, and I'm quoting, with regard to the ORC, I have not at any time had oversight of the files to make a determination as to the way forward. I've engaged the DPP following his press conference, and I'm yet to receive written communication in relation to recommendations. Well, I mean, if you really want those recommendations, if you really want those files, you can make a request, or take your case directly to the National Security Minister and Prime Minister of the country. Not that we want him to directly involved, in terms of the nitty-gritty of those cases. But also you could inform the St. Lucian public beforehand that you, quote unquote, maybe if that's what it is, you're not getting the cooperation of the DPP in those matters. But at the last moment, just before you leave office, 3 days before, you're actually reporting that you have not been able to do nothing at all. You have not been able to do anything as far as those cases are concerned. We have a call on the landline. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Tim, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Yeah, I did not listen to your opening of your program, but I guess you are referring to the Commissioner of Police.
Yes, I am.
Statement about the report of the DDP. But Tim, I'll leave it there for now because I really don't know much what I need to go back and listen. But Tim, there's something that I need to say that happened. I think it was last week when HTS was in this constituency that's in Mikot South. I think you saw that clip. The candidate hopeful for the St. Lucia Labour Party.
Yeah, the pastor?
He claimed to be a pastor. I don't think he's a pastor anymore. And he make a statement that God is the one that sent him, almost like to deliver Mikot South. Now, I know he was a pastor before, pastor of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Guy spent most of his time in the States. And then when he come back, because I know the gentleman very well, and he had so many things to say on that very same church that he was a pastor. So it appears that he's not a pastor of that church anymore. But then what baffles me with what he said the constituency of Mikot South is in a deplorable condition. He said for 3 years, people in the constituency have never seen Alan Shasney. Now, if you were, I know he was a pastor, if you are not a pastor, at least you can still at least speak the truth. This constituency team from where it was before, and I'm referring to way back, and where it is right now, 5 years on Prime Minister and Prime Minister, Alan Shasney transformed that constituency to a level, and not just me talking on your radio, the people, even Labour Party people, satisfied with the progress that Alan Shasney made in that constituency. Talking about the state of our roads there, our playing field, the brand new community center that have not been opened. I don't know when they're going to have the ceremonial opening in Blanchard. And talking about many concrete roads between Tiroche, Lacouville, Diga, Fort-de-Risseau, London Road, and just name it one after the other. If you are a man of God, and that is where you already start with the lies, make me believe that it looks like you're in the rank of that file where you are. That is where you hear the most lies. So now as a pastor, I thought you would have come and bring something to the table that's different, speaking the truth. But you are starting with a lie. Already you start with a lie.
But that is his opinion, caller.
Lies are not opinion. You have, the Bible said, Jesus said you have to speak the truth. And if you speak the truth will set you free. Use lies almost emergent, you just what say that so people will say, oh, I'm passionate, and we need to give him the nod. That can't be. And I would not sit in that constituency where I grew up, and I grew up together with the gentleman, and to tolerate that lies, bring HTS there to say what you are saying. You need to apologize to the people of the constituency. Because he said to me once, Seventh Adventist Church is not good. oh Jesus, when you believe on Christ and this, and I said, be careful that you don't commit what we call the unpardonable sin. That's been blaspheme against the Holy Spirit. And for you now to open your mouth and say the constituency is in a deplorable, everybody who visit except Poleon from 2016 to 2024 who visit that constituency has something good to say in that constituency. When I mean, in the exception of you, I know you it's a while you visit in there. Okay? It's a good while. That constituency is one of the most precious constituencies in terms of work that we saw in that. We have never seen that before. For the first time in the history of this constituency, we have a representative who does not even belong to the constituency. But check the amount of progress and what he did for the people. With lights on our playing field, everything. And you said the man has not been there for 3 years. It was God for that. That's lies. So you believe when you say that the people will just close their eyes and put you there? Can you imagine? I mean, we have lies in this government, and to tolerate you now coming with that lies or that blood, believe that you can win that seat like that, and Mr. Poleon tell me that this is opinion? Yeah? I mean, we have to speak the truth, man. Come on, man. And Tim, you know that too. Have a blessed day.
You do, sir. Still to come, some more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. And what is the Prime Minister's position with regard to matters relating to sexual harassment, particularly in the workplace? We'll hear from him. A clip extracted from a press conference which he conducted a year ago.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Electricity powers our favorite appliances and devices. But leaving your devices on or even plugged in when not in use can waste energy. Wasted energy that runs up your bill. When not in use, switch off, unplug, save energy, and save your appliances and devices. It's the smart thing to do. Saving energy is what's smart.
School start back, KFC got your back. With that back to school deal, it's a tasty pack. Just 12 dollars, oh what a deal. Come and get your fill, it's a steal.
But that's not all. Purchase any back-to-school meal for a chance to win one of 5 backpacks filled with school supplies and a brand new laptop.
Write your name, drop it in the box. KFC got the deals that totally rock. Hurry in before August 30th and sign on. Charge on the 31st, come before it's gone. KFC St. Lucia, we the best around. Back to school with KFC is the talk of the town. It's finger licking good.
Visit kfcslu.com for more information. Follow us on social media at KFC St. Lucia. Approved by the St. Lucia National Lottery. Terms and conditions apply.
This is We Summer. Get ready for the biggest and wildest deals from Flow.
Summer comes with the best deals for ya. Switch it up, this is We Summer. Flow says this is We Summer. We Summer. Hey.
Who got the best deals? It's Flow. But the postpaid Wi-Fi you go. Cut a bill in half, save more for sure.
This is We Summer. Bundle broadband now with postpaid and get your bill cut in half. Plus, get up to 4 Samsung Galaxy smartphones for only $4.
15,000 in cash is that. 15,000 in cash, win that.
Win $15,000 $1,000 in cash. When you sign up, switch up, top up, or pay up with Flow.
Summer, Flow says this is we summer, we summer. Hey.
Flow, keeping you connected. Terms and conditions apply.
It is well known by all St. Lucian professional tradesmen and even homeowners that European-made tools are the best. Well, guess what? Europa Hardware is having a massive promotion on the Metabo brand of power tools. From impact drills to angle grinders, jigsaws to rotary hammers, sanders and hot air guns, all at unbeatable, jaw-dropping prices. Don't let your tools let you down. Come to Europa and stay standing with a proud in-the-hand tool from Metabo. Call us at 452-0763 or visit us in Massat Grosile. Europa, we service what we sell.
The CPL is back for 2024, and the St. Lucia Kings are hunting for their first title. This year, it will be the best ever CPL, with global superstars, massive sixes, and incredible entertainment at the biggest party in sport. There are 4 games between September 7th and 15th. Get your tickets now at cplt20.com. Turn it up and experience cricket played louder.
Don't miss out on the biggest sale of the year at Palace House. Everything must go. Half off and less on everything. But that's not all. We also offer wholesale prices on a variety of items and souvenirs, perfect for vendors and retail needs. Visit us today at Mikut Street, Castries, or call us at 452-2250. Don't miss out on the biggest sale of the year at Palace House.
Attention men, are you worried about your prostate? Then get a multi-parametric MRI of the prostate done for only $1,250 from now until the end of September in commemoration of Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Don't guess, know your status. Speak to your doctor or urologist, or just make an appointment by calling any of the La Clinique de Corps branches in East or Rodney Bay at 451-6559. That's 451-6559.
Need more days of savings? MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt Super Saturday of Savings has just been extended to Sunday. Take advantage of amazing deals. This weekend, MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt are offering you amazing discounts on selected items. MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt Super Saturday of Savings has been extended to Sunday. Don't miss out on the incredible discounts and deals. See in-store, Facebook, or www.mnchomedepot.com for more details. Terms and conditions may apply. Better value for better home.
At Caribbean Pastouche Limited, we offer high-quality products from Martinique, and our ready mix is made with casting sand, not regular pumice. Compared to regular pumice, casting sand saves you in your cement use. At Caribbean Pastouche Limited, our materials come from porcelain stones, which is used as an additive in creating cement. Caribbean Pastouche Limited is located in Bexar, behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastouche Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
I have a daughter. I think it's wrong. I think adults have a right to do whatever they want to do. I'm not the moral police. But I think that sexual harassment is wrong. But I cannot in good faith do anything. First of all, there's a process. Secondly, no one has told me what is expected from me. What do? There are people in high office in St. Lucia. There are people who've held high positions who've been arrested and brought to court for rape. And if you do your research, I know you're very young, you'll find out who I'm talking about. At least 2. Now, what happens there is that the police make a case. The case, don't matter whoever the person is. The police makes a case, and then the process happens.
The island's Prime Minister Philip JPS speaking 1 year ago amidst allegations of sexual harassment by a senior officer of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. Philip J. Pierre, the Prime Minister of this country, is correct on this particular issue. We cannot look to the Prime Minister to intervene or to interfere in this particular matter. It's an issue for the law enforcement. And the only thing is, I'm wondering, why is it taking so long for this matter to be satisfactorily investigated and for there to be an outcome? And I expected to have heard more from the island's soon-to-be former Police Commissioner Cressida Descartes Peleus. Provide details, because we all say that sexual harassment in the workplace and sexual assault and rape, particularly of our women, that is something that is intolerable, unacceptable. And in more civilized jurisdictions, India, the United States, Canada, the UK, etc., the public takes those things seriously. Members of the public take those incidents seriously to the extent when it is warranted, they would go on strike. They would have demonstrations. In the case of India, well-publicized demonstrations calling attention to those issues, because you don't want it to become the norm. You do not want there to be a situation where ordinary people in this country who are accused of, and if there's evidence of matters relating to sexual harassment and rape, etc., those people are arrested, they are charged, brought before the courts. Yes, those cases would drag on and drag on and drag on, but at least somebody's arrested, somebody's charged. As far as this particular matter, I think there's just too much secrecy around it. Now, I'm not saying that anyone is guilty or anyone should be charged. I'm not saying that anyone carried out those acts. But it cannot be a situation where it appears that because it is a senior officer of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, this whole thing is under some veil. There's a lot of secrecy surrounding the matter, and there needs to be ventilation on the part, in particular, of the police, and I expected to have heard more from the island's police commissioner, Cressida Descartes Peleus. Let's take a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Timothy.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Poleon, they have no commissioner in St. Lucia. They have no prime minister in St. Lucia. The prime minister we have there, let her hear nothing, he see nothing. So the prime minister, for me, is a backward. Now, why you think the youth taking the matter into their own hand in St. Lucia? Because there's no policeman. They have some that might be doing something or might be working, but they have no policeman. People just there to draw this.
Hello, caller, are you still there? Okay, we lost the caller. Let's take another call, this time via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Hi, good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Tim, one of my favorite movie genres is the crime fiction thrillers, and I think in that genre, one of my favorite movies is Money Heist, and shows like that that depict criminals engaged in these devious, elaborate master plans that show them eventually accomplishing their goal and taking all of the money and whatnot. And I think in the midst of some of these stories always is the messaging that's happening, the messaging on which these criminals perpetrate their actions. Usually there's a point where it seems as if the good guys, the police and others, are about to catch the criminals, and the criminals seem to be checkmated. There's no way out for them. And almost always, I've noticed this new thing in the writing of these scripts. Don't worry, I'm going somewhere with this. I've noticed this new thing in the writing of these scripts where the criminals are made to throw out part of their loot, throw out a ton of money, and the people who are standing on the sidelines demanding justice, demanding law and order, for a quick few minutes, forget that these are the criminals who have been stealing and are about to steal, and chase after the money. And in the chase, in the ensuing chase, the criminals get away to continue their action in the sequel. So part 2, part 3, which is great because it means that I get another movie to watch in a few years when part 2 or part 3 comes out. But when a outgoing police commissioner steps in and provides us with what seems like crumbs of information, not information that we didn't have ourselves or that we could not have potentially thought of ourselves, not information that leads to any clarity in the situation or points to any potential closure to a particular situation or resolution. What we see is giving you the bare minimum, knowing full well that they have the entire meal for themselves, giving you the crumbs. So on her way out, the worst commissioner in the history of St. Lucia, the worst female commissioner in the history of St. Lucia, steps out and tells us that everything we've been asking her about, she knows nothing about it. That every investigation that we've been told has been going on for the last 5 years or more, or a few less than that, as in the Kimberly De Leon case, she knows nothing about those things. That we are no farther along than we were many years ago. So the individuals who were killed through impacts, we still know nothing. We still know nothing about them. Young man who was shot by the police in that car. I think it was Arnold Joseph. Arnold, I can't remember his
Arnold Joseph.
Arnold Joseph.
Yeah.
We still know nothing. The young man who quote unquote died, I think was killed in the Mico police station.
Shaka
we still
Dan.
know nothing.
Shaka Dan Daniel.
The significant murders in Vieux-Fort and across the island, we still know nothing. Everything, we still know nothing. And that is what we've been waiting for almost 2 years, to hear that we still know nothing and we've still not done anything and we're still not talking to each other. That our organizations are still not talking to each other.
But Kola, the thing is, who in St. Lucia will make a difference? We know those people are holding key positions in our country, whether it's government ministers, whether it's our prime minister, whether it is the police commissioner, because I mean those cases are well documented, and things like not having submitted a file, this issue between the police commissioner and also the DPP, because the police commissioner is saying, I have not at any time had oversight of the files to make a determination as to the way forward. That's in those alleged extrajudicial killings.
Right.
I mean, that is just it's confounding, man. It's confusing as well. I mean, I don't know.
But I think Rick used to say something some years ago. That is the culture. Maybe that is our culture. That is the way we do things. That we continue hoping for the best while doing nothing. I would do a simple thing as to ask the current Minister for Crime Prevention in his last. How long has he been in this office? A few months?
Maybe about 3 months. No, not close to a year. About 3 months or so.
3 months?
Yes.
In the 3 months that he has been there, I'm sure he's done. I'm hoping that he has done some exploration of what the issues are, people's voices and whatnot, and what are his policy statements. Not what he's going to do, like stop and frisk and searches in No, none of that. What are the policies that are going to guide the actions that are going to lead to positive outcomes. Not the same thing that we've been hearing from people multiple times. What are the policies? There are no policies. And I think that is across the board. There are no policies. There's just a rehashing of the same thing, expecting something different. We see the same thing happening with regard to CIP. Suddenly, there's a flood of money. But where was that? Where was all of this money when the 2.5% levy was being suggested? Did we not know that we had that money, that CIP money? Suddenly, money is available. And for us to think that money is suddenly available by accident, if that kind of money is suddenly available, what it suggests to us is that there is even more money that's available that we are not privy to. And we have to demand that all of that money is made available to run the country rather than being held in the hands of a few political elites. Our responsibility is not to get distracted by the pennies that are being thrown around right now. Tim, my final point. If we want to see where St. Lucia is going, look at what you see in the Caribbean islands. The same things that we see happening and saw happening in Trinidad, in Jamaica, we're about to see happen in Guyana as well. We're about to see happen in St. Lucia. The gangs were first huge in those countries, and now they've become an issue for us. The response by the political players in those countries was to start giving money, start giving grants to what were called, quote unquote, community leaders in those countries as a way of trying to allow money to trickle down, quote unquote, to the ordinary people. And what eventually came out of that is what we know today as 6 and 7. Those community leaders were actually criminals and gang leaders. And I think we were doing the same thing in St. Lucia. We were giving money to people with the assumption that they are quote unquote community leaders, not knowing, or maybe they know very well exactly what they're doing. But the populace is maybe unaware that we are actually feeding sharks and dragons, and we will pay for it. Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. Incentivizing criminal elements in our society, because how do you compensate? How do you provide incentives as well, or reward law-abiding citizens? What about law-abiding citizens? So should law-abiding citizens as well be rewarded? And somebody was saying recently in some Caribbean territory, at the time that gangs in some of the territories were being provided with assistance and financial support and money, etc., so that they could, change, adopt new attitudes and become law-abiding citizens, that this certainly was that kind of action that was being done by certain governments was serving as some kind of lure, was enticing young people to the extent that one young man in a particular class visited by law enforcement, and he was asked what he wants to do when he graduates from school. And he says that he wants to be the leader of a gang because of the kind of financial support that was being provided to those gang leaders and those gangs, and also the contracts that were being awarded to them as well. Let's take another call on the landline. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello, good afternoon to you, caller. Okay, we lost that call. 452-2979. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages at 716-2026. And that is 716-2026. We have a call on WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You are on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, team.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to you.
Okay. Regarding the lady at the post office, team, I made an investigation. I called public service because I have a very close friend at public service. And she told me it's the prime minister that have to give the heads up to sign the paper.
Okay.
And she told me again, for working at public service for the longest while, she never know people signing for 3 months. The last time they gave her Deputy Postmaster General for 3 months. And she think there's something wrong. We need the Prime Minister to come out and speak about that young lady. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Here's hoping that one of his PR people are listening to this broadcast and will pass the message on to Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Some more of your calls and WhatsApp messages in just a moment.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus take charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Lucilex remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, 285-3329, or 285-8640. Or send an email to customersupport@lucilec.com for assistance. Lucilec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
Good morning, students.
Good morning, teacher.
Let's head back to school.
It's time to get the children ready to head back to school with a back-to-school loan from First National Bank. Get up to $30,000 for all your back-to-school needs. No deposit required, low interest rates, and an easy process. Visit any First National Bank location or call 455-7127 for more information. Let's head back to school with First National Bank. Terms and conditions apply. First National Bank, here for you.
This is We Summer. Get ready for the biggest and wildest deals from Flow.
Summer comes with the best deals for ya. Switch it up, this is We Summer. Flow says this is We Summer. We Summer. Hey.
Who got the best deals? It's Flow. But the postpaid Wi-Fi you go. Cut your bill in half, save more for sure.
This is We Summer. Bundle broadband now with postpaid and get your bill cut in half. Plus, get up to 4 Samsung Galaxy smartphones for only $4.
15,000 in cash is that. 15,000 in cash, win that.
Win $15,000 in cash when you sign up, switch up, top up, or pay up with Flow.
Summer, Flow says this is We Summer. We Summer.
Flow, keeping you connected. Terms and conditions apply.
Open and win with Guinness Bike Life under the Crown promotion. Over $100,000 worth of prizes to be won. That's right. Guinness and Guinness Smooth gives you the opportunity to ride away with a brand new motorbike, an ATV, and or $5,000 cash. Lots of other instant prizes to be won, including smart TVs, smartphones, AirPods, Guinness merchandise, fuel vouchers, grocery vouchers, free Guinness, and lots of cash. To participate in the grand prize draw for the motorbike, you need to collect 6 Guinness crowns, 3 of the left bike symbol and 3 of the right bike symbol. Place the 6 crowns in an envelope with name, address, and contact number. To participate in the grand prize draw for the ATV, you need to collect 6 Guinness smooth crowns, 3 of the left ATV symbol and 3 of the right ATV symbol. Place the 6 crowns in an envelope with name, address, and contact number. Envelopes can be picked up and dropped off at the following locations: Heineken St. Lucia Warehouse in Union Castries and SDI Warehouse, St. Jude's Viewport. Promotion starts August 15th through to October 15th. Draw takes place October 22nd. Drink and live responsibly. This promotion is approved by the St. Lucia National Lotteries.
St. Lucia, get ready for the ultimate flavor explosion at KFC. Introducing the new Bacon Melt Sandwich. That's right, the crispy, juicy KFC chicken you love, topped with melted cheese, crispy bacon, and your choice of mayo or barbecue sauce, all nestled in a soft sesame seed bun.
Get your taste buds ready, come and try KFC's new Bacon Melt Sandwich is great, no lie. Crispy chicken, bacon, cheese flavor certified with mayo or barbecue. Anyone you must try. For just $25, get this combo deal. Fries and a drink, it's a steal. Head to KFC, cause you don't wanna miss a Bacon Melt Sandwich, have it on your list.
Available at all KFC locations island-wide. WhatsApp 484-0400 or visit kfcslu.com for delivery and more.
Stop all that smoke, fume and noise. keep the emissions to zero and be a hero for the environment. You can still do all your lawn mowing, brush cutting, leaf blowing, hedge trimming, even chainsawing, but with a battery-powered machine. Europa is now offering a buy one get one free on professional battery tools. When you buy the tool, we'll throw in the battery absolutely free. Yes, you heard right. You get one free battery with the purchase of any steel professional machine.
PS la fille, PS désordre. Merci papa.
Visit Europa in Massat, Grosley or call us at 452-0763. Europa, we service what we sell.
Attention men, are you worried about your prostate? Then get a multi-parametric MRI of the prostate done for only $1,250 from now until the end of September in commemoration of Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Don't guess, know your status. Speak to your doctor or urologist or just make an appointment by calling any of the La Clinique de Corps branches in Castries or Rodney Bay at 451-6559. That's 451-6559.
The CPL is back for 2024, and the St. Lucia Kings are hunting for their first title. This year, it will be the best ever CPL, with global superstars, massive sixes, and incredible entertainment at the biggest party in sport. There are 4 games between September 7th and 15th. Get your tickets now at cplt20.com. Turn it up and experience cricket played louder.
To have a strong structure, you must have a strong foundation. And at Caribbean Pastuche Limited, we offer top quality aggregate materials at great prices. We supply high quality ready mix, casting sand and plastering sand. We also take special requests for specific materials that you may require for your building projects. Caribbean Pastuche Limited is located in Bexon behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open from Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastuche Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
Need more days of savings? MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt Super Saturday of Savings has just been extended to Sunday. Take advantage of amazing deals. This weekend, MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt are offering you amazing discounts on selected items. MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt Super Saturday of Savings has been extended to Sunday. Don't miss out on the incredible discounts and deals. See in-store, Facebook, or www.mnchomedepot.com for more details. Terms and conditions may apply. Better value for better home.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Let's continue with your calls. We have a caller online via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Mr. Poleon.
Good afternoon to you, Rick Wayne.
Tim, the word we hate, history. And I keep on saying, history is not yesterday. History is today. Because when you examine today, you automatically have to go back to yesterday and day before. You understand that?
Yes.
Good. When I ask you that, Tim, it's almost a habit of mine. It's not to underestimate you, know. It is to be asking the crowd that I can't ask directly. So I kind of ask that, do you remember so-and-so? I'm really asking your audiences all over the world, St. Lucians. So pardon if it sounds like I am talking down to you. I'm not. Tim, can you think of one public issue, an issue of grave concern, or, to be more careful, an issue of apparent grave concern, an issue that, if for the moment, caused outrage? Can you think of any such issue, public issue, that was satisfactorily resolved? By that I mean at least a good portion of the country saw justice done and they agreed with it, as opposed to everybody. You're not bound to get everybody, but a good portion. So I ask the question again. Can you think of any such outrageous public issue that was satisfactorily resolved in the country in all your years as a journalist?
I really cannot think of any right now. But I could think of those that were not satisfactorily settled.
That's a dodgy answer.
No. I'm just telling you. I think of none that have been resolved satisfactorily.
All right, okay.
But conversely, I could think of so many that have basically been brought to the fore and not satisfactorily resolved. I mean, you think of Grindberg, you think of Rochamel. A lot of those cases.
Please don't spoil my section of the show. We have to do this right too. I want to invite, with your permission, your callers from the diaspora and your callers from UK, people who live in a while, and especially people on both sides of the political divide in this country, because this, for me, is not a partisan thing. When we speak of law and order in the country, we cannot possibly be talking partisan unless we are total idiots.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, suicidal idiots. So when it comes to the law and order, personal protection, and so on, that is a concern of everybody, regardless of political affiliation. I would like to believe that there are people out there who say, great, Rick, that's true. But I don't have that faith. I can hear the noise out there. I'm always talking shit. Yeah. I'm talking long. Tim, your mind goes back again to what was called the Helena affair.
Yes.
It was a major issue, wouldn't you say?
It was.
Major. And we still have the smell of the fuel still in the air up to now.
I mean, it did set a precedent whereby, and it brought to the fore something that certainly I hope many people are tuned to it, are aware of it, can remember, that if you are on the side of the government, if you're serving the government, you do not even have the right to ask questions. What you ought to do is to follow any decision taken by the government blindly. Follow it blindly.
And we also have to add that is a disease that afflicts both sides of the political divide.
Yeah.
And has afflicted both sides of the political divide a long time. Only now it has gone to near, I mean, you can't think of it getting any worse. Short of people picking up cutlasses in the boulevard and chopping whoever they think is a yellow or green or blue, etc., etc. That is how far we are. And I say those things, and if whoever want to make it political and whatnot, you do so at your own expense. When we first, at the time of the Helena affair, this is what Kenny Anthony said when he introduced the issue, when he spoke about the issue publicly. Why is John Compton so full of hate for St. Lucians? John Compton was then in opposition, and the Labour Party was in office. And the way Kenny Anthony chose to defend his indefensible position on Helena was to hold a rally and open up with those words. Why is John Compton so full of hate for St. Lucians? When the foreign-owned jalousie, he went down on the whole thing that involved foreigners and whatever. John Compton, so that's not even a Labour Party thing alone. During the same Helena issue, Tim, before I tell you who said it, a concerned party said this publicly. All those guys did was abuse Helena. Compton would pick up the phone on any given day or night and call upon Helena to provide him with a charter to the Grenadines. Usually they left Iwanora between 6 in the morning, hear the details, Tim, and 6:30 in the evening. He had, I am not going to call the lady's name, But let us just say that lady, we know that lady was that I referred to, that he was referring to, was an underage young lady that had involvement with the former prime minister. He and you know who. He booked charters all the time and never paid 1 cent. Now he says he tried to help Helen Air with concessions, that he got them their routes, that he offered them business advice. That was the way he dismissed Compton's disagreement with what the government was trying to do about Helen Air.
Which is guarantee a loan, which is to guarantee a loan on its behalf.
Yep.
Yeah.
The guarantee alone with what turned out to be a bunch of lies to Parliament. Nothing stood up. Finally, no bank would get involved in it. And it's a horrid story of corruption and manipulation. And it is there to be read in all its gory details, in lapses and in felicity. All its gory details. And by the way, the person who made that statement, the second statement there, about the charters and free charters to the Grenadines with a young girl, schoolgirl, etc., was none other than Mario Michel, who was, of course, the secretary and lawyer for the Helen Air, and who was also the deputy prime minister at the time he made that public statement. Okay?
Yeah.
Good. So I go back now to say to you, think of when of Jufali. The first time Kenny Anthony introduced the word Jufali publicly, it was to say, why does Alan Shastney hate St. Lucian so much? The same as Kenny Anthony had said, why does John Compton hate St. Lucian so much? Because Compton did not endorse the idea of the guaranteed loan for Helen Air, and because Alan Shastney had blown the story of Jufali. Both said the same thing. Now, the opposite parties, Compton was GWP, the other guy was Labour.
Yeah.
So, but they both said exactly the same thing. Now, we move on. What are you hearing now about Alan Shastney and CIP? He hates St. Lucia.
Yeah.
He wants St. Lucia to die. He banks and everything else, you know?
Yes, that's what's being said.
You think of any one of our prime ministers, Labour, that is what they do. They press the buttons of the insecure and press the hate button. That's why they must keep the country hating itself every day.
You remember also what Sir John Compton said about a reporter. That he described the reporter.
Oh, I meant to say that. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Gregory Wedge is now a judge, a retired judge. We were both overseas at the time. It was 1979, on the eve of independence, and the prime minister designate, because he was premier up to that point, held a press conference and would not allow me to ask questions. I lived in California. I came specially for that. And Gregory Burgess lived in Canada and came specially for that. So the moment he saw us in the front row, he had his permanent, his what do you call it? His
personal assistant,
Willie James,
mm-hmm.
announced that he would be taking no questions from the St. Lucia press in the St. Lucia on the eve of St. Lucia's independence. You see what we've been going through?
And I wasn't in the media. And Rick, let me state categorically, I wasn't in the media then. I was just too young to be in the media, but I read about this.
Well, you don't have to say you're too young.
No, I wanted to say that.
In the media.
Next thing people believe I was already a
making us look like fossils.
I don't want people to believe I was already a journalist in 1979. Yeah.
But you're right, Tim. So he announced that, imagine that, all of you St. Lucians in diaspora and everywhere else, imagine this, what you have been tolerating all your lives. And not because you haven't been reminded or pointed out that this is ridiculous, you must not tolerate that, because when you tolerate that, the neck is a kick in your butt, etc., by the people you elected. You've had warnings. generations, your granny and your mother. The stories have been there, the warnings have been there, and you've ignored them. And now you're paying because your grandmother and your mother did nothing, and father too. Just like you are doing nothing, no matter what, and your kids are going to pay for your cowardice or for your don't give a damn. Once I have $2 in my pocket, man, half a loaf better than none, and all this kind of bullshit. You inherited what your parents did not do, and your kids are going to inherit what you did not do, but just talk foolishness. So, Regis, since I was not allowed to ask questions because I didn't have a press card, Regis had his press card from CBC. So he had Compton examined it and gave it back to him. And from then on, Regis and I started playing a game. He would ask his own question, and I would, with a lot of show, lean over and almost shout my questions to Regis so he can ask the Prime Minister designate. And there was a question that was asked about brothels that were beginning to spring up around Castries. And Compton did not answer the question. Why do you hate your own country in front of foreigners? Why are you putting down your country? Etc., etc. And then he invited him to look out the window. And he said there was a man who looked out the window. Two men looked out the window. One saw stars there, and which caused the whole contingent of foreign reporters to start laughing because he is inviting Regis to look at the stars, and the stars were the symbol of his opposition Labour Party. Mm-hmm. So that was quite a joke on Compton. But he went into the whole thing about how Regis and I hated St. Lucia, that we were embarrassing our Prime Minister, we were embarrassing our country in front of all those people, rather than simply say that is a social problem we have, that is a social problem which we share with a lot of countries, especially the poorer countries, and I will endeavor to put a stop to it and give all the social bullshit they usually give. We'll have work, we'll have trained people, so they won't have to be horsed and brought up. Nothing like that. He attacked the messenger. Same thing. You think of Chasney and the CIP. Attack the messenger. Attack the messenger. That's been going on regardless what party has been in office. Attack the messenger. So now I ask you again. The list, I just throw a list at you, asking you about the resolution of those things, satisfactory resolved. Was it Rochamel ever satisfactory resolved?
No.
The answer is no. Grindberg, no. Mm. Giselle Georges, no. Trisha Dennis, their kids murdered and raped, no. Valerie Lord, no. Valinda Joseph, no. Rochamel, no. Frenwell, no. DSH, no. Allegations by MPs against MPs in the House, no. Impacts, no. The UN scandal, no. How many homicides over the last 20 years do you think was satisfactory result?
Well, recently, Valinda Joseph, somebody was arrested. Somebody was charged, and found guilty and sent to prison in connection with a murder. Because you mentioned Valinda Joseph.
Are you sure that was not appealed? Because I don't seem to recall a resolution. But maybe
just recently, a few months ago.
That doesn't change. If I'm wrong, that doesn't change the fact about the 50 others.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So if I'm wrong on that one, you remember the man who went out to up north. He was hired as a grass cutter for some accountant woman from Dominica who was working here. He went in, raped the woman, and killed her.
Yes, I remember that incident.
That was the last hanging we had in St. Lucia.
Yeah.
A few days earlier, a prime minister had randomly walked into the prison and decided on how many people had served how much time and what, and based on that he let them go. And never announced it, no information, and this poor woman, young accountant, hired him to cut her grass. He raped her, and he hanged, and he killed her. That was the last time somebody was hanged in St. Lucia. There are a lot more, Tim, but we don't have the time for that. So all of those things. So weren't you expecting to hear the answers you got for Shakadan?
I wasn't expecting that. Call me naive if you want. I wasn't expecting. I was expecting to hear something different from the outgoing police commissioner.
All right. Well,
I mean, there comes a time when you say to yourself, "I've heard all those things before, and probably I'm not." You tend to give people the benefit of the doubt.
The lady's demitting office. You can't believe she'll go away doing that as her legacy.
I could not believe that. I did not anticipate that.
Watch her get a new job. Just watch her get a new job, because it takes some. You almost have in our environment. In fact, you have no choice but to speculate, because the lady is not a dummy. She set a record, a gold record, like Alfred. That was in our first as well, Alfred got gold, and she got gold too,
Yeah.
The first woman who put in charge of our police force, and she was going to work wonders, and she was a model for all St. Lucian women. All that stuff was attached to her. And she's now leaving, to my mind, in disgrace, having achieved nothing. So, and I am even ready to speculate deals were made. Okay, so that's what happens when we don't have answers. I don't know. So I am now free to speculate, and the law is on my side. Does the law make allowances, Tim, for possible misuse of public funds on the basis, well, we haven't had let me put it clearer. If the law says the audited accounts of the government must be placed on the table annually, I don't know of any law that says, unless, of course, if somebody is sick or somebody is tired or something. I don't know any allowances. The law says there's a reason why audited accounts must be placed on the table. There is a reason for it, because you can't go spending public funds without accounting for public funds that you've spent.
Mm-hmm.
And if I stand be corrected, I doubt we are up to date to the tune of, let's say, 3 or 4 years. We're behind.
With the CIP
yes,
funds?
We borrow money.
With the CIP
we
funds?
Borrow money.
With regard to the CIP funds?
Not the CIP funds yet.
The public accounts. Public accounts, okay, yeah.
Public accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Yet we borrow millions, do all kinds of things, but never account for why we are 4 years behind with the public accounts. That is normal. That's been going on for years, even when Emma Hippolyte was audit director. So as far back, it's been going on. So now when the CIP does not present its accounts and breaks the requirements, the law, the protocols, or whatever it is they may have, are we surprised? And we are simply told, well, there's been a delay.
Yeah.
3 years. No reason for it. Why are we surprised? And so it goes on, Tim. It goes on that way. Now, who were those 2 high-profile rape cases that the Prime Minister chose to indicate? Who were they? Who are the people involved in that?
I don't know. Maybe you should ask the Prime Minister that question the next time you speak with him.
You don't know. Just like me, you don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I wonder how many people in your chat room or the diaspora will also pretend, like you and I, that we don't know who he was referring to. Because you and I damn well know, even though we have our private.
I'm not in the Prime Minister's head, I cannot tell you that I know who he's referring to.
I know the names, and you know the names, and you know what I know that you know, and so do our listeners in the diaspora, and most of those on the chat room. They know. But here's something they may not know. Both of them unresolved. Both of them ended the same way. And in one case, the lawyer was about to be put through a voir dire because of an allegation that he tried to get the witness, the rape person, the person who was allegedly raped, to drop her case. And the whole thing ended there. So, if we allow that to happen all those years, and I can come up with this whole afternoon talking about those cases, why are we surprised when the norm continues? When the norm continues, if we will not do, if we are only going to follow our dumber predecessors, who are not as smart as we are, who don't have the information readily as we have, etc. If we are going to behave as they behave, why the hell would we expect different results? Our kids are going to pay for it. Our kids are already paying for it. The people who are shooting those people are your kids. The people who are getting killed in their mother's arms are your kids. Okay? And it's just begun, because that can only get worse. And I'm warning again, we cannot trust the courts because obvious reasons. We cannot trust all the institutions. We cannot trust the police even to tell us the truth on things that happened 5 or give us an opinion, things that happened 10, 15, 5 years ago, etc. We can't trust them anymore. So what is left? The system is dead. We are just paying taxes for nothing. And it's not going to be long before the bush overwhelms us. I said it again. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling, Rick. Well, bringing us to the conclusion of our broadcast, but before that, our NewsSpin question of the day. How has the walk of progress impacted you? How has the walk of progress impacted you? And finally, we have our NewsSpin news of the day. The NewsSpin news of the day. Prime Minister Trudeau announces reduction in temporary foreign workers, suggesting more immigration changes to come. Prime Minister Trudeau of Canada announces reduction in temporary foreign workers, suggests more immigration changes to come. And that's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the most monitored talk show in the world. Join me this evening, 8:30 for the Newsmaker Live broadcast on DBS television, and of course before that at 7 o'clock for the DBS News World. Until then, goodbye.